Hello,
Hi there.
welcome back. So continuing with our last video, we're kind of focusing on all the concrete floors. So moving on into the garage.
And this door is really damaged, as you can see. It's kind of the most damaged one. A lot of the doors need repaired or replaced. So going into the garage, what we're calling Studio Gray.
And the garage has a lot of kind of old hardware just kind of stuck on the walls and shelves and stuff that we're wanting to tear out. And the floors aren't in terrible condition, but they have a lot of kind of stains and dings and stuff that we kind of need to patch.
Very dirty.
Yeah. So the first thing was just kind of going around and just tearing out all the old stuff that we don't need to get to the concrete floors.
And this shelf actually wasn't too bad, but it is not a part of our plan. So we're going to actually save some of the wood to hopefully be able to reuse it for different things. But it'll help our whole floor plan on what we want to do with all of our equipment.
Yep. And then moving on to a kind of an overhead shelf that I guess it was just used for storage, but also had to go. We got some plans for that wall.
Once again, some of the pieces of wood we will be able to reuse, so that's always nice.
Yeah, the wood.
Upcycle. Woo!
Yeah, the wood on top of this was really heavy, really thick. So that'll be probably built into a future project.
Yeah. A funny little side note is our house came with a yellow shopping cart, which we've actually gotten use out of.
Yeah, it's my little roll around tool cart. These are kind of the main or the biggest dips and dings and stuff that I needed to kind of clean up.
Once again, dirty everywhere, as you can see.
So it has a bunch of sharp edges, and I came up with a pretty good technique with using this little chisel that I would use to kind of knock around the edges to kind of clean it up, just to loosen and clean out a lot of the.
Because that's pretty much the first step you want to do when you're repairing concrete. You want to make sure that you get any of the loose pieces, because that's just going to affect it in the future and cause more problems then.
Yeah, so I was just kind of dinging and testing a bunch of areas to make sure there wasn't any loose concrete, and then just coming back with a wire brush, and that would really get a lot of the loose stuff up. So I was using like this stucco, just kind of a.
It's a cement patching agent.
Yep, so just adding a little bit of water and using I was told this might not work, but I was going to try it out anyway. This little paint stirrer in my drill, it actually worked really well. And this is the first time you're doing this, so it was a little trial and error. I think the first time I mixed it up maybe a little thick.
But what's good about it is you can just add more water or add more powder.
Yep. Before starting this next step, I did clean the surface really well.
Oh yeah, you want to get it as clean from dust and debris as possible.
You're supposed to dampen the surface and then kind of just dump a little bit of this on and kind of spread it around to let it soak in. And
Oh right, and this was actually like
it's like a primer.
adhesive agent almost.
Right.
So you want to get it really well in the cracks too, because it helps the patch to stick. So that's pretty important as well.
So this is my first trowel of this stucco. Didn't really.
Trial or trowel?
Trial of trowel.
Trowel trial.
Trowel trial.
Trowel trial. So I mean, it looks a pretty different color here, which it does end up drying gray, as you will see, but it's definitely a different color. But we don't really care too much about the variations in this floor. We kind of feel like in the end that'll be just fun and add to the character of the whole room and house and all of that.
Yeah, I think at this point we're kind of leaning more towards a a natural look of the concrete, so we're kind of looking into the stains.
Yeah, still trying to figure out what's the best method. We've seen different things. Some people talk about, oh, this one's horrible, it peels, and oh, this one's really good. So we're still trying to figure out which product actually works. So we'll see. We're still doing some research and talking to people in different stores and stuff in the different departments. So we'll see.
So I'm mixing up my second batch for the last few bits here. I think it was going that good. So again,
especially because of this step.
yeah, this was again a lot of kind of trial and error with this machine. Like I was still trying to get used to it, and
this is once again the Dyma brush attachment for this floor polisher.
Yep.
The same one that we used for the other concrete floors as well.
So this is pretty much about the same process, but I wouldn't end up with this goopy mess. This was just more so just trying to get the surface of this concrete smooth. And the hardest part of this one was going over that stucco. Man, that stuff, once it dries, I mean, it seems like it's harder than concrete. It took several passes to get a smooth surface. But all in all, it ended up really well, and Dyma brush really got up a lot of the old ugly marks and kind of evened out the floors.
And once again, this was a very messy process, but at least this, once it dried, it was pretty much just a powder. So even though it was everywhere afterwards, it dried to a powder and wasn't all goopy like in the other room with the adhesive.
And being in the garage, we just power washed all the solution outside, and this is what we ended up with. See you next time.
Bye-bye.